sign in the sky that the Messiah was coming. You know, a star, a shooting star, and those who watched for those, they knew that the birth of the Messiah was coming. So Herod was like, "Oh shit, man! Wait a minute! I gotta, destroy all of the Hebrew children, so I can cut off the Messiah." This is their plan, to cut off the Messiah, to cut off the 144, so that we could not come to our perfection, man. You see? Let's see if it came up. Herod. Who was Herod's? Who was Herod's father? Boom. Antipater the Idumean. See that? Antipater the Idumean. And look at him. You can clearly see that this seed line ain't destroyed out of the earth. They're here today with suits and ties, all right, telling you to put on masks. Antipater the Idumean. And what is Idumean? That's the Greek way of saying Edomite. Okay, so Herod was an Idumean, and you're seeing the fight and struggle between Jacob and Esau. Okay, right here, as you saw it throughout all of the other scriptures, Haman, Agag, and various other Edomites have always been a thorn in our side, man. And hating. Today, vocab, and the rest of them, hating, mad, hurt. Want to keep you in that black box and accuse you. We're going to see if it works, though, on the elect. Because it may be true what you're saying about 2/3, but what about the elect? And that's the only hope we have, is that a righteous judge hears our cry and really searches out the testimonies of both parties, and that's what's happening. Okay? So, this is when Yahushua was born, and you can read that. They brought him the gifts. Let's see here. They saw the star. You can read that. And he was born in Bethlehem, but he was raised in Nazareth because he had to run from what we're getting ready to read about. Let's see. And Herod, and Joseph is going to take a child of the Holy Spirit to Egypt. Here it is. You're under the threat of imminent death. And your wife told you, I had a child by the Holy Spirit. And you go take the risk. And I'll be like, you and the Holy Spirit, take your asses to Egypt. That ain't my child. But Joseph took the child, Joseph and his mother, and they went into Egypt because there was a large population of Jews. And there are dark-skinned people, man. Why would a so-called white boy go and hide amongst the Egyptians? But anyway, verse 16, it says, Then Herod, when he saw he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and went forth to slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under. Right? You see that? 2 years old and under, infants, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Okay, because he inquired of them, well, where is he at? Where is he going to be? Where's the Messiah going to be? Where is he going to be born? All right, and they mocked him, but he got pissed. And this is what he went and did. He went and slew, all of the children that were in Bethlehem so he can cut off the Messiah, man. All right, which it was a fulfillment of what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet. Now, we can also get this in a symbolic way in the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter. Revelation, the 12th chapter, and 1, it says, And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, which is symbolic of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. The woman is the nation of Israel, as the scriptures tell you. I have likened the daughter of Zion unto a comely and delicate woman. Israel is the bride and woman of the Most High, man. Okay, the children of the living. Eve represented what? Israel, as Adam represented the Messiah in the church. Okay, the children of the living. Eve means life or earth, which is where fruit comes forth. All right, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. See that? And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. Okay? Because we were in captivity. You see? We were in captivity and we wanted to be delivered. That's why when Yahushua came on the scene, they were like, oh, now you're going to restore, the kingdom to Israel, because they wanted to be put back in power, man. And we do. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head, all right, which is the Roman Empire, and the vassal states, okay, that strengthened it back then, man. Okay? And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, because who were in Judea at the time in large amount? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Okay, the northern kingdom had already went into the Assyrian captivity and left Assyria and ended up over here in the Americas. So in Judea, which was a province and vassal of the Roman Empire, the third part of the stars of heaven, which is Israel, were drew down. Okay, cast down. We were in captivity. When the Messiah came on the scene, you had the temple, you had the high priest, you had different camps. Okay, scribes, Pharisees, Sadducees, Sadducees, and different camps. All right, but then the Messiah came, right? So his tail drew the third parts of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth, meaning they were in a low state. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she, the Lord, sprang out of the tribe of Judah, which is one of those 3 tribes that were in Judea at that time. She brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations, all right, with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God, unto his throne. You see that? And this is what eventually happened. He got sacrificed. He conquered death. Okay, he supped with, particular men and women, 40 days, ascended back into the heavens, right? So this is that same history. But they wanted to slay the child who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron, just as they wanted to slay, all right, just as they want to slay us, period, so that the 144 don't arise, because we're going to also rule these nations with the rod of iron, right? So they are trying to cut off the rulership, and it has not worked. Revelation 2:26, and to he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I have received of my Father. And this is the Messiah speaking, man. That's why it's written in red, because we're going to be joint heirs with him. So Esau has always, even going back to Cain, tried to obliterate that seed out of the earth, but the Lord has always blessed, man. And this is all going to come back on his own head. You see, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, 49 and 10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. You see that? Leave thy fatherless children. I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me, because we're going to take concubines, all right, of the brothers who want, okay, of the choices of all of the heathen nations, man. So that's how the widows would trust in him. But I had 2 other precepts here showing you that we say it's true. Let's get there real quick. The book of Job, the 18th chapter, Isaiah the 14th, the book of Obadiah says that there shall be none remaining of the house of Esau. So what you intended to do unto us, all right, after the 1,000 years in the kingdom, Okay, you're going to be buried. A different burial. You're going to be done, son. Let's get this in the book of Job, the 18th chapter. And we have this in Isaiah, the 14th chapter. Let's get Job first. Job 18 and 17. Oh, man. Ooh, man. I start at 14. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors, which is Yahushai. And he's going to try to fight against Yahushai. Okay? That's why the Lord said he's going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation, man. And this is that final generation where the Lord is getting ready to put your asses down. And it shall dwell in his tabernacle, the tabernacles of Edom, right? As it says in Psalms 83, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation, which is, Babylon the Great, in various parts of this man's system. His root shall be dried, but up beneath, above, and above shall his branch be cut off. All right? No more roots. You're not going to procreate no more. His remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light to darkness and chased out of the world. Okay? He shall have neither son nor nephew. What do they possess? Seed among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. They that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they that went before were affrighted. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth God, not God, which are you Edomites. All right? All of the heathen, at some point in history, they reverenced us at some points or God, but you Edomites have never done that. You weren't created to do that. You see? Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the world with cities. No more colonization, man. For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, and I will cut off from Babylon the name, the remnant, and son and nephew, saith Yahweh, because ultimately you control Babylon the Great. And the judgment of this Babylon is not talking about the judgment, of ancient Babylon. This is speaking of the modern day daughter of Babylon. I will also make it a possession of the bitters and the pools of water, and I will weep it with the besom of destruction, which are those missiles in the fire from the chariots, man, saith Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, man. Okay, and finally, get the book of Obadiah, and we'll end it off there, man. Obadiah, verse 18, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame. All 12 tribes are going to be together. Okay? in the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house, which is the tabernacle, of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. And after this happens, the kingdom shall be the Lord's, in that very last verse. So what you intend to do to us and exterminating us, it's coming back. So with that, hopefully y'all edified. Shalom.